in theoretically 3, 2, 1.
Well,
when do we go?
We're going.
You go at 1
now.
Yeah, you go now. You
at
3, 2,
one or
yeah. Go after I say 1. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Nerdy News. I'm Russ Rollins, along with Jeff Kaufman of Big City Comics and Kaufman and Lynn, and Ryan Holmes is our producer for the Nerdy News. Basically, the Nerdy News is everything that is like nerdy we like talking about, and we'll talk about it in depth and detail. We don't have the rules of being on a radio station or radio show. We can say pretty much whatever we want, and as long as we want to talk about it, we can. Jeff Kaufman, how you doing?
I'm doing ridiculously well, other than some of the issues we talked about on the radio.
My God, I know. Your partner, who is such a great guy, it's Craig Lynn, and I was telling a story about him, about how the guy looks like the real Captain America. And I was telling him when we went to see Hobbs and Shaw, I was talking to a group of people, and Bo, the big man Rose, what's up, said, hey, that guy over there, is that Jeff Kaufman's partner? I'm like, no. When Jeff Kaufman's partner, Craig Lynn, gets here, you'll know, because you'll think Captain America just walked in. And as soon as I say it in front of a group of like 6 people, up walks Craig, and they're like, oh, that's him for sure. But he had a heart attack.
Yeah, he had an issue, and
but he's okay now.
He's okay. The doctors at Central Florida Regional were fantastic, and so were the first responders, and they saved his life, and they said it's a genetic thing, that it's plaque.
Yeah.
He'll be aspirin and all this other stuff for the rest of his life, but he's with us, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, it is.
That's all that matters to me.
And this is a guy, for the audience that don't know, this guy is in perfect shape. I mean, like, eats properly, works out every day, perfect shape, a sweet, really nice guy. And it's just such a shock that would happen. I mean, you just wouldn't think.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a weird month for me. I got my dog tag. I got a bunch of stuff. San Diego went well, and it was just in the new I love this, the Invicta Joker.
Yeah, you got
came
the Joker.
in.
Yeah.
That was cool. And the weird thing is, I put the Joker on. I'm wondering how it's going to be the lucky watch. It'll be the weird watch. It'll be everything else. I'm wearing it all day, and some weird stuff is happening, some good stuff. And Craig said something to me interesting before this happened. It was like 3 hours before. We were able to get something really great happened. And he goes, Jeff, you don't seem happy. I said, because, when I get happy, I get slapped real quick.
Right.
I'm one of these guys where karma, if I get everything's great. Lack. So I tend to oh, that's good. I don't allow myself to get too happy, because that's when I think God looks down and goes, it's on. And
that might be my problem, because I live happy.
Yeah, well, you live this happy. You live this, happy-go-lucky, existence. But he says to me, Craig goes, Jeff, that's ridiculous. Gives me a big hug. 3 hours later, he has a heart attack, just to show me I'm wrong.
It's crazy. And he's, like I said, he's such a nice guy. But and you look at him and you think, superhero, this guy. But you told me that he actually plays Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, yeah.
So he fits in Nerdy News.
He is, but I don't
know anything about
I tried to have him do the radio. He goes, Jeff, I can't do that. I go, what do you mean? He goes, because I overthink things, and I want to talk, and I want to drag it out. And I'm like, yeah, you can't do that.
Have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons with him?
No, I haven't, because I'm afraid that he'd be too competitive.
We should get
he'd take me out.
We should get him to come in here or come on the show one time and explain to us how to play Dungeons and Dragons, because I think that'd be interesting and give him something to talk about so we feel comfortable.
Okay,
and then get him involved.
Then him and Ryan could duke it out on characters.
Ryan Holmes,
yeah.
Do you think I would like Dungeons and Dragons?
I could see you liking it
if there was alcohol involved.
We drank, right?
Yeah.
Well, they don't normally drink. That's not.
Well, it depends on who you're playing with. I mean,
you don't even have a team yet, do you? You don't have a group yet.
How do you pick your character in Dungeons and Dragons?
Well, you pick what you want to be.
I can draw my own character.
Yeah. Well, there's a book you go through, and you pick your race.
You got to read.
But
there's reading involved.
There's pictures.
Right?
There's pictures. Yeah. So we'll pick what you want to do.
So what if I pick the same character that you pick?
Well, you wouldn't.
You can't.
Because
you want a good team. There's a center. It's like basketball.
Oh, I see.
It's a sports reference. Yeah. Ryan, you won't get it. But I mean, it's you got a guard, you got a forward, you got a center.
Oh, it's like Quidditch.
Yes.
Okay. Like Quidditch.
Something like that. Tanya Morgan, one of the nice women who watch the show goes, I don't get Dungeons and Dragons. I'm like going, because women don't normally play. There is the rare woman who's like dudish growing up who was into it.
I think it's safe to say you don't get Dungeons and Dragons if no one's explained it to you. Like, I don't get it yet, but no one's explained it to me. I'm open to give it a shot.
You'd be bored.
You think?
I think you'd go, wait a minute, hold on. I got to roll this dice, and what happens? Okay, now roll again. I got to roll again. And you're just, so what's happening?
And then how do you know, like, let's say you roll a 7. What does that mean?
Well, it depends on what you're doing.
It's never the same.
You roll for everything that you do. So you're like, I want to check under that rock to see if there's treasure, and you roll for it. If you roll a 1,
I want to check under that rock and see if there's treasure.
Yeah, and you roll a 1, no treasure. Roll a 20, treasure.
So you can make up anything. Like I want to look under that tree and see if there's a bottle of Jack Daniels. Like, yes.
But no, it's not you. It's not you, dude.
Oh,
you got to walk away. You know what? I'll tell you what. We'll rent the Dungeons and Dragon movies. If you can survive 2 hours of that crappy movie, then I think you can play the game.
That movie's awful.
We should bring Craig on and let him explain it, and he can show me what character I can be, and me and Craig Lynn can be friends.
You and Craig, you are friends.
I know
you are friends.
But I want to do something with him.
Okay.
Why he's still alive?
Oh my God. I felt so bad. I went in there and this is terrible because they had the 2 nurses in there, and Craig goes, yeah, it was really cold when I'm in there, and they're they don't stick a catheter in, so they got to do it for me.
Oh,
and I said, I made the joke. I said, he really is interested in having a catheter. Craig goes, I don't want a catheter.
Oh.
And I said, well, then they're gonna see, you not at your best.
Yeah, because it's cold.
And he was going, yeah, it was really bad, Jeff. They saw me not at my best. I'm
That's
like,
funny.
Craig's a big dude, so the last thing he would want to be like a big dude with a small pepe.
Yeah.
And
well, you also don't want to be in there like full mast either. Like you come in like, hey,
I do. I want to burn.
He's like, can I take this Viagra before I have my heart attack? So God forbid something happens.
But here's the thing.
That'd be a great Cialis commercial. It was great. I had my heart attack, but my erection held.
My erection is still there. Okay, you were. I don't know what kind of a transfer this is, but you were talking about fat people.
Oh, I was really.
Hey, Craig is not a fat guy. If anyone would have a heart attack, it would be someone
my
like
fat
me.
ass.
It should be me or Bo or Craig.
Yeah.
It's not Craig Lynn.
Yeah, Craig. Craig looks at me from the bed. He goes, you do realize this should be the other way around, right?
Correct.
And I was looking at him going, hey, man, jeans, man. You come from that Nazi kind of, where you guys didn't quite make it. You were told you were the master race, but it's really the Jews. We survived.
Not a lot of genetic diversity.
Yeah, no. So it was sad because we're the same people. So we're talking the way we are, and the nurses are looking both of us like we're absolutely insane because we just had this heart attack, and we're talking about the most inappropriate crap we possibly could. But that's Craig and I for 22 years.
That's how you deal with stuff. So what was the fat guy thing?
Fat people thing.
Yeah.
Okay, it hit me last night. I was wondering because we're in an age right now where we're not sure if fat is allowed to be funny anymore.
Oh my God, really? Are we?
We're losing fat too.
Here's the one thing.
It's fat shaming.
I can't.
Okay, that's the term. Fat shaming.
Exactly. So here's the deal. I can't say anything. I can't speak for little people about the word midget. I can't speak for lesbians or gay people. I can't speak for black people. But you know what? I can speak for fat people. So this is one thing I actually can comment on and make some sense. And no, you can make fun of fat people all you want. I mean, we're fat, so make fun of it and laugh. And if it gives everybody a laugh, then good.
Well, see, this is where I think we have the issue because I think how black people use the N-word.
Yeah,
I think fat people could you make fun of fat people, but the problem is what happens when you're not fat and you're laughing at a fat person.
Skinny people should skinny people make
like
fun
white
of
people who use the N-word. Not that funny.
That's not good. Yeah, you don't.
I mean, we're in this world where we got to pay attention to so much of this stuff now.
Yeah, everything is got to be so politically correct, and I can't say. Matter of fact, that's why recently, on the show, I've been pushing it a little bit more, saying things that I know are going to make some people mad because you know what, it's okay to be mad a little bit. If you hear something you don't like, okay, so what? People are so sensitive these days, and it makes me crazy.
I mean, my problem is this: is there are some actors who are just funny when they're fat.
Yes,
I mean Chris Farley. Funniest fat guy ever. You go back in history, the duos they had, Laurel and Hardy. Abbott and Costello. The fat guy was always funny. The fat when Jerry O'Connell in Stand By Me was fat, and then he got thin. Now he's good looking. You're going, he's not as funny as when he was the fat kid from Stand By Me.
Yeah, the guy from The Price Is Right. What's his name?
Drew Carey. Drew Carey, funny or fatter?
Yeah, he ain't funny now.
And cartoons, funny fat. So when did we get to a point where I guess you go, well, we can't laugh at fat anymore?
Everyone's so because here's the reason that it's as bad as it is because everybody has a voice now. Before we didn't care what people thought, could care less. Now you can see it on Facebook. Everybody's got you hurt my feelings, you hurt my feelings, and now everybody's so sensitive.
But is fat a choice?
That is not a choice.
Hey, let me make this clear.
You don't choose
fat is a choice 75% of the way.
Yeah.
25% of the people it's genetics.
Yeah.
Like for example, I'm fat. I weigh 230 pounds. I don't pass on desserts. I don't exercise. I am the
you do marathons.
Yeah, but that's because I genetically can do dumb physical stuff. It's not something I train for, and I'm embarrassed to say when I do. Oh, I did this marathon the other day. I finished the marathon. Of course, I'm not breaking any records, but my fat ass crosses the line.
Right.
So the issue is that can we make fat jokes? And they go, well, you're not really that fat. I'm going, well, I'm 40 pounds, 50 pounds where I should be.
And that's like,
I mean,
and that's like telling that one girl that was playing Bad Girl, she's not that gay. You're not gay enough. You know, it's the same thing. It's like you can't.
So
tell someone
you're not fat enough.
You're not fat enough. You're not gay enough. You're not black enough. Somebody had they weren't black enough to do a particular part. It's like that's ridiculous.
We're so worried about, and I think it's just that I was reading this the other day that people are not trained anymore to deal with adversity. We're not part of the. Forget what generation you want to call it, the millennials, whatever. They weren't taught to walk it off. Right. When you were a kid, when you were bullied as a kid, you had a choice. You either fought or you dealt with it. You know, you didn't have a bunch of people go, okay, no, you shouldn't have to deal with adversity. And I don't appreciate people bullying, and I don't like people committing suicide for this stuff. But when we were kids, you know, the suicide rates now are through the roof.
It's crazy. Yeah.
It's through the roof. And what would you call that? Roof. You know, you know what I mean. But I mean, the sad part about this is we're not raising our kids. We're not teaching them to defend themselves. We're not teaching them to be stronger inside, because the biggest successes our country has been based on are people who fought through adversity, who fought through failure. And we don't fight through this anymore. Now we go, oh, no, you need to be protected from failure. And I'm not protected from people calling you fatty. I mean, I get called out. I look at myself in the mirror. I look like I ate my young self. And I live with that, you know. But I think fat is fun? My wife finds fat hysterical. Really? She loves when a fat guy falls down.
Yeah.
And my wife and I, you know, we're healthy. I mean, we're kind of meaty. And my wife is beautiful, but you know, we both, you know, had thinner days when we were younger. But you know, she loves when a fat person falls down. I mean, who's the guy who plays Kevin James? Kevin James in every movie, when he falls down, my wife is hysterical.
It's hilarious. I was telling a story the other day, and I don't know if you'll think this is funny or not. I think it's absolutely hilarious. I was telling someone a story the other day, and they were like, "Oh, that's not funny because my wife is fat." And I'm like, "Well, okay, whatever." But we had a thing where when we used to do concerts and stuff, we'd have thousands of people show up, and we had a member of the show. He always wanted me to do this, and we never did it. But he's like, "It would be so funny if we get the fattest girl we can find, put her in a bikini, have her walk out on the stage and just eat an ice cream cone. Just sit there, eat ice cream cone, and ice cream down her arm, and she's just looking at the audience straight face, and just eats the entire ice cream cone and walks off the stage." I'm like, God damn, that is really funny. But there's gonna be people that are gonna be mad. And if you saw that, you know you would laugh.
You know what's funny? You absolutely would, and we know it would be absolutely wrong. But think of every funny movie we see. I mean, you got Jonah Hill, for example, in you know, he was Moneyball, he was in Superbad. I mean, it was funny because he was the fat guy running down the street with a period stain on his leg.
Yeah.
And it's absurd, but now he lost weight.
And not as funny.
I mean, he's not funny anymore.
Right.
I see him and I'm like going, he's a good looking Jewish kid. He looks like he's, you know, he looks like he could be your accountant, but you don't expect him to be funny on TV.
So who was in you said it was a poll for the funniest fat people.
Ranker.com is one of these websites where people vote. And the polls stay up, and you could be voted up and down, and they talk about the 50 fattest funny, you know, things on there, and they whether it be a comic book character, or a real person. And believe it or not, you probably don't watch this, but I remember I mentioned the doctor who took care of Craig was doing his Peter Griffin impression.
Okay,
Peter Griffin from Family Guy has been voted as of today, he's the funniest fat guy.
That's ridiculous, because the funniest fat guy is, and God love your brother, Ralphie May. Ralphie May was the funniest and the fattest guy you've ever seen.
But he lost weight too. He was trying to lose weight.
No, he did not.
I thought he was losing weight at the end. I thought he had look it up.
No,
hold on. You looked at Ryan. You're always on the internet. You look that up.
If Ralphie May lost weight, it was maybe 5 pounds. He was still over 300.
I mean, and then they got Homer Simpson.
No,
these
are not real people.
Okay, Fred Flintstone, but you do have Phil Banks from The Fresh Prince. You know, he played Doug Heffernan from King of Queens. Dan Connor from Roseanne. You know,
yeah.
I mean, you have a lot of these people who are popping up. Norm Peterson from Cheers. I mean,
Norm.
John Candy from Second City.
Oh, he was funny.
Mike Biggs from Mike and Molly. Fat Albert, of course.
What's his real name? He's from Orlando. And he's
a nice guy. Mike Biggs. That's the character's name. I don't know
his name. What was it?
Who knows?
Ryan Holmes. What was the comedian's name that did Mike and Molly? He's local guy.
Well, I have him looking up something else.
Son of a gun.
Carl Wilson from Family Matters. Drew Carey, number 18. But he's not really fat anymore.
No, he's not.
So, I mean, when you look at, Jim Belushi, I guess.
Jim wasn't that fat.
No, John was fat. Jim was just bigger. Jim was like linebacker.
Billy Gardell. There you go.
Billy Gardell. Thank you.
I mean, but you look at all these different people and you go, this guy's funny. This guy's not funny. Ralph Cramden from the Honeymooners.
Yeah.
You got.
Hey, true or false? Ralph Cramden and the Honeymooners. The Flintstones was basically kind of based off that, right?
Absolutely. They definitely They definitely took that from that, and they were like, oh, okay, I get it. I mean, that's the thing. Is fat funny? Are you allowed to laugh at fat anymore? I mean, for example, the woman who from Mike and Molly, what was her name? The actress who played Molly. She does all. She's Melissa McCarthy is hysterical, and the question is she's lost a lot of weight, and I've seen her, and she doesn't come off that she doesn't. The character that she plays doesn't fit the tune because now she's a thinner, good-looking woman. Yeah, and I don't know if we accept meanness and like body humor from a thin woman.
A great example, and you gotta help me with her name, Ryan. Really, really like edgy comic that is a female, and she used to be fat, and then
Amy Schumer.
No, now she lost a lot of weight, and she was really.
Amy wasn't fat. She was
like,
just had a little extra
really
weight.
She used to be funny.
Really big with the with what you do with roasting. And she not.
Oh yeah, she always said she dated African American.
She dates black guys.
Lisa Lampanelli.
Lisa Lampanelli. Now, Lisa Lampanelli, when she was fat, hilarious. I went and saw her at Hard Rock when she lost weight. You're right. It didn't come off. It came
thin
off as
people
mean.
Aren't as funny.
Yeah, when you're thin, you're not as.
When
funny.
you're fat, you'll be forgiven. Like when I make jokes about eating, if I was thin, they'd go, "Oh, look at this asshole." But I mean, for me, it's like it's like, hey, fat. I make a lot of self-deprecating humor, and that was the whole thing. Some of the best comedians. John Pennette was this fat comedian, and great. John Pennette was, I would say, one of the top 10 stand-up comedians I've ever seen in my life. His timing was perfect. This was funny. The humor he used was fantastic. He would talk about food in a way that you believed he loved it.
Oh, he did. A little story about John Pennette. John Pennette came on the show a couple times, and every time he came on the show, he could not have a conversation with us. He always just had to do his bits and stuff. And then during the breaks, he would apologize to me. I hope that was funny. I'm like, yeah, John, that was great. Just talk to us though. You don't have to tell your bits. We'd go back on the air. He would still go back into bits because it made him comfortable. Yep. But then he could not just do regular radio. I went to see his stand up. One of the funniest guys, him and Ralphie May, two of the funniest people I've ever seen. And
he was in The Punisher too. A lot of people don't remember that. He was in the original Punisher with Tom James. Ralph Pennette.
Pennette was okay.
Pennette was in The Punisher, and his buddy got beat up really bad. And he was this really sensitive guy.
That's funny.
But I mean, his stand up was so easy. Get out of the line. I mean, he had so many great lines that I'm haunted by.
You
and
eat too much.
He was like. When he went to the Chinese buffet and they told him to kick them out. Yeah. But I mean, there's so many great. How do we give that up? And do we get to a point where humor isn't humor anymore?
Well, here's the thing. Everything is what I learned a long time ago in radio. Everything is on a pendulum, right? And so you're going to have times when things are really, really, really super edgy, and then it's going to swing back, and it's going to be really, really conservative, and then people are going to get sick of conservative, and it's going to swing back again. So we're about to get ready to swing back to being edgy, I believe. I think people are having enough of everything being so freaking sensitive. It's getting old.
The question is, who's having a problem with that? The people who aren't sensitive? I mean, that's what I'm thinking about. That we have. I was talking to somebody who was 40 yesterday, and he's on the beginning edge of that generation where they're not used to getting hit in the face.
Right.
And I mean, you ask yourself this: have you ever been punched in the face? And if you hadn't, then you were probably a little too sensitive.
If you hadn't been punched,
I guarantee you're too sensitive.
Okay.
Because if you've been hit in the face, you're like going, I can walk this one off. Because it's all what I call desensitivity.
Yeah.
I mean, think of it this way. We grew up on the real haunted horror movies like Jason and Freddy, and Jaws. And look how desensitized. If we watch Jaws now, the first one,
it's just like
it's like a joke. The eye is funny. They called it Bruce because the eyes were really weird. And they call it. Now we'd go, okay, give me a break. But when you've been so desensitized towards that you're like, okay, big deal. Well, getting hit is the same way. When you get punched, you're going, it could have been worse. I could have got punched. But if you've never been hit before, you're going, the worst thing that happened to me was I was insulted really bad.
Hey, speaking of being way too sensitive and then the pendulum flying the other way, there's a new thing on Amazon that is an example of flying the other way, and that's called The Boys. And this if you've not seen it, if you are a superhero fan or whatever, it is right up your alley. But it is, listen, if you're sensitive about anything, you just don't watch it.
Muy bueno.
Because
it is good.
I mean, it really is edgy. And I agree with you, what we were talking earlier. It reminds me of the way we write Jolly Jane, where you throw the comic book thing, but you put a lot of real reality in it and things that really happen, and it makes it seem like it's edgy. Have you watched it at all, Ryan?
I have, yeah. Actually, the boys went less edgy. They changed one of their scenes.
It's less darker. She blew all the guys. Originally.
Yeah, in the comic books.
I don't want to spoil it, but kind of the superhero girl, not the Wonder Woman, but like the Powder Puff girl who gets part of the team, Star Girl. The first thing she has to do is basically perform oral sex on their version of Aquaman. And she gets forced to do it. Not forced. I mean, he guilts her into it, and then she feels.
He's like, look, if you want to be here,
if you want to be here, I got pull. So if you don't do this, and you don't know what,
and in that show, he bangs dolphins.
Hey, how do you think Ryan Holmes got his job?
I thought he was just sensitive. I don't know.
Not enough mouthwash.
No, but it's called The Boys, and basically it bastardizes the whole idea of
the Justice
superheroes and the Justice League, and it is written very well.
It's offensive. It's Garth Ennis. I love Garth Ennis. I love that the idea that when
he's a comic book writer.
Yeah, the biggest compliment I get sometimes is they go, "Wow, you write like Garth Ennis." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." You know, but Garth goes for shock value. He goes straight for the shock. You know, and a lot of times the oral sex scene, these things like that. I mean, when we do it, it's like we gloss over the offensive stuff and then just hit you with the dialogue. And you do have this, but you know, you're kind of woken up by it instead of just stepped right on your neck.
So Garth Ennis was a comic book writer.
He still is. He writes The Boys.
And they took his comic book and made it into a major
Amazon television
show. Yeah. And that's what we're hoping for with Jolly Jane. That's when it becomes not a hobby. And that's when it's the real deal, right? When it's made into a movie or a TV show.
Could you stop saying hobby?
Then it's not a hobby anymore.
Mary Ellen, you did this. You're such a sweet woman and you did this to me. You know, I hear this all the time. So, you know, we make money. We pay for stuff.
So what else is going on? Have you watched all of The Boys?
I've watched it all.
See, I'm only on episode 4. So
I can't. I'm not built to wait.
Oh.
You know, it's like if you're going to give me the whole series of something, I watch it. But my guilty pleasure is actually going back and watching some of these classic 80s sci-fi shows that were fantastic.
Like what?
Well, I was watching The Highlander on Amazon, and there could be only one. And there's such a cheese factor to now, especially when you're watching like the Highlander walk around in mom jeans.
Yeah.
It's so weird because he's got like the mom ass in him. And I'm like, oh God, you know, did we just think those were cool jeans? And that's why certain tattoos, I think, that's the problem I have with certain people when they get tattoos. They buy something that's relevant as of today. Mm-hmm. And 25 years later, when nobody knows what, you know, a Smurf is, you're gonna question why you got that on your left butt cheek. You know, what is that blue blob on your butt? You know, it looks like a fruity pebble.
Right.
But that's the thing when I see people wear clothes in like episodes, you know, from like the 80s and the 90s shows, and you're going, you know, you got the parachute pants and everything. Look at Rainn. He just buys stuff. You know?
Yeah,
that had to be a free shirt. He didn't buy it.
No, I bought this. This was an Amazon purchase.
An Amazon purchase means they don't go to stores anymore.
Yeah. Sit at home and you
don't even get to try it on. You're going, wow, this ocean thing that's, you know, this is like an Aquaman spoot across the top of this thing. It just goes
It's the jazz cup from back in the day. This cup was haunting my childhood as a very ugly cup, but as an adult, I wanted it on a t-shirt. I don't know. Irony.
Hey, when you go back to The Boys, and I'm looking at some of the art, and it is as graphic, if not more graphic. Actually, I'll say it's more graphic than Jolly Jane, the thing that we wrote together. But yet they were able to still make it into this show
because you get away with it when you don't have a rating system. When we're not sitting at a convention and you can't show a pair of boobs at a convention, but you could put one on a show.
Yeah.
You know, people will live like if we were trying to explain to somebody coming to the booth. Oh yeah, there's a scene where they force oral sex on this girl. They would leave in droves.
Yeah.
But you could write as a scene in a show and get away with it.
Hey, speaking of, do we still have the secret covers for Jolly Jane?
Yeah, we have the secret.
Are still available?
They're still available.
All right, just go to
online.
BigCityComics.com.
Yeah. We've been talking about this. What's going to change is, we're watching this on Amazon. Yeah. This could never be on ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox. It could be on maybe HBO. So it's really, you have to go to like the cable shows. Well, now it's streaming services. It's not cable shows. It's just a streaming channel. Like you can't get Amazon on your TV unless it's an app running in the background.
Right.
So what I'm saying is that what's going to happen, for example, HBO Max is Warner Brothers app. Now, Warner Brothers now has access to a ridiculous amount of stuff. So they're going to be creating their own content through DC Universe is going to be wrapped into it. So you'll have the new version of Titans.
That I saw Have you seen the trailer?
Oh, yeah.
The trailer for the new Titans looks so good. You've got
Titans is Teen Titans. For they don't know, Teen Titans is like the sidekicks of the Justice League.
Yeah, and they add in Crypto, which is
the dog,
Superman's dog. I saw Deathstroke.
Yep. Deathstroke is Wade Wilson, and for those who don't know, Wade Wilson was the actual ripoff. He got ripped off to make Deadpool.
Yeah.
So
there's Aqualad.
Slade Wilson, Wade Wilson. You see,
Aqualad.
Yeah.
And there was one other. I think
they're bringing Robin back. They're bringing the Robin, the new Robin, not Dick Grayson, but the kid Jason Todd. He's going to be on the episode. He's going to be on the show.
So it looks good. Looks really good. And you can only get that through the DC Universe app. But you're saying soon that might change.
They say they're going to. Let's see. HBO Max starts in spring of 2020.
Oh, okay.
So that they'll wrap everything in. Now this is the reason why certain stations are going to get their heads knocked off. They buy shows. So, for example, Friends and The Office are the biggest downloaded streamed stuff on Netflix.
Yeah,
that's their top shows.
Which is crazy.
Are these reruns that because people are addicted to it? Well, these shows are now going to go back to their studios. For example, like the BBC, who does Doctor Who, that's going to be on HBO Max. So anybody who wants their Doctor Who fix is going to have this streaming service.
What's crazy is, do you know anybody that watches Friends on Netflix?
My daughter.
Oh, okay.
I watch The Office.
Who's 13?
Okay.
I watch The Office every night when I go to bed. Just so I don't have to focus on it, and I know it's light enough to where like I can fall asleep during it, and I'm
because you know what's going to happen.
Yeah. I'm on my like 10th run through of The Office.
Is it weird that you're no longer amused by it, but it's like
I still
sleep
find
music?
It funny.
It's like sleep music sometimes.
I laughed. Okay, I actually woke myself up laughing the other day because there's one part where like there's this running joke where Dwight doesn't know Jim's daughter's name and he keeps calling her Pee. I think it's really funny, and I just woke up laughing because her name's Cece.
Oh,
and so he's introducing them. And he goes, Jim, Pam, and their daughter Pee. And it just makes me laugh. I don't know. And there's every now and then there's an episode I've never seen.
Who's that character who plays? I'm always terrible with names. The guy who plays the Dwight.
Rainn Wilson.
Rainn Wilson. I just rewatched a movie he did called The Rocker, where he was this band member he was kicked out of this band that went like multi-platinum. They were called Vesuvius. And 20 years later, he gets put in this like his cousin's band where he's playing the drums and he's like trying to relive his life. And you know what? I'm addicted to these. The story where the guy gets his dream, and I don't know what it is, but I love
because you want your dream.
Yeah, well, I'm a comic book guy. I'd lose my mind if we were sitting there on the set watching our characters get made.
Oh, yeah.
I admit that. But at the same time, I'm just addicted to it. Major League. I can watch movies where
I like Major League.
They succeed in the end. Oh yeah, they win this. The Cleveland Indians, get to the playoffs. I mean, just these crazy. Even these weird movies like League of Their Own, where they get to the finals, they lose in the finals. But I'm not spoiling it for anybody. But
you can't spoil the League of Their Own.
But think about how many great lines. And any movie that has like these great lines, I can watch hundreds of times. Like The Water Boy.
Yeah,
I mean that comes on and I'm watching. Foosball is the devil.
yeah. No, I can watch that one a lot. Yeah,
man. Did you see that? Like the deal that they just announced with it's Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN for $12.99.
Well, who owns Hulu?
Well, yeah, but
who owns Hulu?
Yeah, but I didn't think you'd get all of it together.
Remember what I told you was going to happen? I said Disney now owns about 2/3 of Hulu. So Hulu will be where they dump all their R-rated stuff, and they could go, "Oh, this is a Disney Plus. This is Hulu."
Mm-hmm.
So this will be their version of Touchstone. I have a feeling what's going to happen is that they'll have their dark stuff that they'll put on this, and then Disney will be all their fun stuff. And ESPN is, you can stream that from anyway. You know that if you have cable, you can download the ESPN app and have it anyway.
Yeah, but if you don't have cable,
so what's going to happen is you are going to now do the future of everything is going to be you are going to buy your services, and that's it.
It's a la carte.
The problem is you're going to still need your cable. Now, if you can pull it all off of, like your internet. When I say cable, I mean your internet at your house. We can stream off our phones,
right?
But it's not as fast.
Yeah.
So that's what I did when we went to San Diego. I streamed off the phone in order to do stuff.
Yeah, I felt really bad because Russ is sitting in the back because it's not like Orlando where everyone knows him, and I see him behind me with his phone, and I could tell I'm going. Oh God, it's killing me.
Oh yeah, I got bored.
And he was only there 2 days.
Yeah, I got bored
out of the 5 days. If I would have forced him to be 5 days, he would have gave up comic books. I think 5 days he would have gone. Jeff, I got to be honest with you.
How many people,
I'm out.
How many people did you get?
If there's nothing for me to do, there's no reason for me to be.
He got 19.
19
there was
people.
19 people.
Oh,
but that's still good. I mean,
I just realized this too.
What?
You didn't say whether you wanted a dinner or you wanted cash.
Oh no, I want ones, man. I want to make it rain.
Oh, so I got to get him 100 ones.
No, I'm kidding.
No.
Like
I was going
to like indecent proposal.
I still owe the Franklin. I still owe him the Franklin.
I think we're good, brother.
No,
we're fine. But are you going to come out with us Thursday? We're going to do trivia with Ryan Holmes. Is it a special? Is it nerdy trivia? Is it Batman trivia or not?
No, man. It's just.
So what are you doing?
Trivia.
What kind of trivia? It's gonna be lame trivia, like your generation's trivia.
No, it's
only old people go to trivia anyway. So you're catering to us anyway.
It's across the board general knowledge trivia. That's what we're doing.
What state was inducted first? Like what kind of trivia? Are you doing?
People are cheating. How do you know they're not under the table with their phones?
I'm looking.
You're looking.
Yes.
You're in charge of it.
Yes.
We can't get you to monitor sound, but you're going to monitor 200 people.
Wow.
Okay. All right.
Oh, I hope there's 200 people. That'd be great.
Oh, if there's 200 people, that'd be insane. I don't think the place holds 200 people.
It doesn't. But it'll be a lot of fun. It's Bubbaloo's in a Popka.
See, you know how we do it. You know how we could salt the mine like he salted the mine in San Diego. We can just go, well, the people who come, everyone who come will get a free pair of tickets for the next movie we go to.
No.
And then all these people would show up. Hey, I don't want to play the trivia. I just want my tickets.
Yeah.
And I'm not showing up anyway.
You gotta buy a beer or something.
Yeah, you got to play trivia. You got to sit at the table, play trivia, and participate. I know there's a lot of prizes and stuff, but it should be great.
What kind of prizes do you have, Ryan?
Just some old junk from my garage.
Okay.
Really?
I was gonna donated from the Ray Rollins garage.
Yeah, I was gonna stop by Russ's dad.
We got a box of we got a bottle of nuts.
I've got a haunted Ouija board that'll break your AC.
Yeah. Screws and nuts and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
No, Booth put it together. I believe it's gonna be like I think one of the things she was talking about was like a full-on catering thing that you can win.
Yeah.
And then just gift cards and prizes and stuff like that.
She's great. What else we got in the nerdy news, Jeff?
Well, Universal just announced their big park.
Yeah, what's the name of it? It's something obscure.
They changed the name.
Yeah,
they changed the name, and I forgot what it's called. It's called Epic Universal's Epic.
Yeah,
Epic Universe.
That doesn't tell you much. Didn't tell you.
It tells you nothing. Yeah. But I a couple months ago I broke how it's going to be designed and everything. I said it's going to be a spoke system where you go to one island, you come back, and it's not going to be an island, but it's just going to be a location. You can't just go around. You have to go in, and then you have to go out of the island.
Like how Disney's built.
In and out.
No, Disney. You can go you can do a lap around Disney.
Can you?
Yeah, you can do a wrap around Epcot. You could do basically a wrap around MGM. But this one, the center area, and you spoke off. So you're probably going to have Nintendo Land. They're probably going to boo from what I hear. See, this is the problem. They want to increase the Harry Potter footprint. Now they're thinking about doing that through what's that movie Beasts? What is it called?
Fantastic
Beasts. Movies.
Yeah, Now that's the problem.
Movies.
They're trying to possibly base an island on Fantastic Beasts when it's not doing that well.
No, it's terrible.
So I would suggest they just put another Harry Potter area in there.
Yeah.
And just do Harry Potter. I'd stay away from a franchise that's not doing well. But this is the thing. It's going to be twice as large as both of the parks they have in Orlando combined.
Yeah, I saw that. That's incredible.
Really? It's really that big?
Yeah. And people don't realize that we haven't built a new park in Florida in 20 years.
Wow.
Is that when IOA was open 20 years ago?
Wait a minute. No, that's not true. We just built Volcano Bay.
That's not a theme park. That's a water park.
That's a theme park.
No, it's not.
It's a water park.
It's a flumes.
The theme is water.
Hey, anytime you're allowed to walk around without a shirt, that's not a park.
You can walk around
rock
Universal with no shirt.
No, you have to do a tank top. No,
really?
Yep.
They've water rides.
Yep. No shoes, no shirt, no service.
Really?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Like you can rock one of those tank tops, the wife beaters, but you can't. You can't go full. Full frontal on these guys.
Where at Volcano Bay?
No.
Oh,
at a regular park.
Okay, yeah.
See, if you're allowed to walk around without shoes, you're not at a park.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So that's listen to all these people laugh, coming across. But yeah, it's gonna be twice as big, and they're gonna spend billions. I mean, the amount of money, and
they're
say
going to make billions.
It's very weird because it's not exactly on property. It's not like Disney where the parks are near each other.
It's down the road.
This one's actually on the other side of I-4 by Sand Lake Road.
That's where Wet n Wild was, right?
No, Wet n Wild is where they put the hotels. They're putting some hotels up there. This one is, I think it's a ridiculous amount of acreage, like 75. Let me see how many acres. Just huge, 750 acres, which is behind the convention center. So it's going to be serious, but it's what it's going to be. And I think it's going to be fun. I hope that we're not too old to appreciate it.
I haven't been to a park
5 years?
so long. I want to.
Well, you went to Universal. Stop it. You go to Universal.
I did go to Universal. You're right. I want to take Mary Ellen to the Kingdom, Animal Kingdom. I haven't been.
It's hot.
Yeah,
it's just hot.
That thing is too hot for it. But I wonder if she loves animals. So
I like it. Animal Kingdom has the coolest ride. They have the. I'm so terrible with names. Which is the movie that did the most money until I just blew by it?
What's it called?
Avatar.
Yeah.
Maybe that's my thing, not knowing the names and having you give them to me. Avatar has the ride where you're on this motorcycle and you're supposed to be flying the bird.
Okay.
And you're whipping around.
I like that.
It's a really cool thing. The problem is it's a 2-hour ride.
Is it scary?
No.
It's a 2-hour ride.
No, it's 2-hour wait to get on the damn ride. But people, who knows?
Yeah.
We can go with Jacob. He's autistic. We'll skip the line.
Jacob, get us in.
Yeah, Jacob. We'll get a 4-pack. You and Uncle Russ and Jacob go on the ride together. See, that's how all the passes got screwed up in the first place because people with disabilities were renting themselves out to rich New Yorkers.
So scummy, man.
Yeah, it was scummy. Now, if you put up with Jacob for 3 hours, you deserve to skip a line. Because Jacob will wear you out.
He's got a lot of energy, doesn't he?
We went to the movie theater, and it was so funny because he walks in there, and the greatest thing about doing this show is how much autism awareness we actually get across the board.
Yeah.
Because when we talk about Jacob, everyone knows who Jacob is.
Yeah.
So when we walked in, and they all your listeners were looking over and they go, "Oh, that's Stinky Walmart."
Stinky Walmart.
That's what Jacob screams all the time.
Uncle Russ, Stinky Walmart.
And he couldn't wait. He goes, "When's the next movie?" Oh, next movie? You know what the next movie is?
Joker?
No.
What?
Next movie?
What?
Last Blood.
What's that?
Well, you remember First Blood?
Oh, yeah, of course I remember. Oh, yeah, Rambo.
Rambo!
For that, yeah.
Rambo is the next movie.
Oh,
and for Carlos, the movie after that, and I've been waiting for is Zombieland 2.
Okay, all right.
So, so we have the next 2 movies lined up, and we'll load up.
Well, you got to reserve Joker, man. Joker looks good.
Reserving Joker for us as I make the call.
You know what I saw? I saw some article, and I guess DC believe they're going long ball on this one, and they believe they're going to be nominated for an Academy Award.
They think he might get an Academy Award.
Yeah, and that's what they're gonna try to outdo Marvel by we're gonna do some quality comic book stuff.
Yeah, let's put out movies that nobody watches. That's what our goal is.
Superhero movies that aren't superhero movies.
Let me see your Joker watch again. Let me see that Joker watch. That is pretty cool.
Yeah, Joker
watch.
Listen, Joker watch.
So since I only do Invicta
Bam!
DC watches, I can still buy that one, and we can have the same watch. We already have one of this
and I can't wear it because
you can wear it.
No, you know what happens? You and I wearing the same watch. It's like you want to call each other in the morning. We'll wear the same shirt.
And you know what I would do? I'd hold your hand and give you a big kiss on the forehead.
Yeah, and people would forgive you. With me, they'd go, "Look at Kaufman."
I wouldn't care.
See, you didn't want this watch.
I know I didn't.
You made it clear.
I didn't.
He said
it was too gaudy. It was too much, and now I see it, and I want it so bad.
It is cool.
It's cool. It's an Invicta. Show it to the camera for those who can't see. It's an Invicta watch, and now that's all I wear. I had a Rolex.
He had a Rolex given to him by an ex.
And it was so nice to sell that thing.
Yeah.
And use the money for other things.
Well, you went to Ireland with it.
The money there.
How great would it be if you're the ex? See, this is where true revenge happens.
Mhm.
When you do something so great that it would piss somebody off. You know the Rolex you gave me for your birthday? Well, I actually I actually spent it to go to Ireland to have sex with my wife for
Right.
5 days
That's exactly what
on
happened.
your money.
Yeah. Thank
You
you.
know?
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
What time is
He goes,
it? Time to bang my
did
new
what?
wife.
He goes, I bought him that Rolex, and he this son of a bitch isn't allowed to be happy. Not only did he take money from me, he wound up having a lot of sex and fun with it.
Right. Look at the time. It's time to have sex again with my new wife. Ooh, and the Rolex is gone. Yeah, but now I have the Invictas, but I will only wear DC because I have a loyalty problem. I like to be loyal to a thing, and whether it's Kiss or Batman or DC. I got to be Team DC, and I can.
I'm sorry, you had no problem sitting through Spider-Man with me. So
yes, I can still like those things, but I cannot put them over or above anything DC or Batman.
So you can't have it on you at the time.
No.
If if we had this cool Spider-Man shirt, you couldn't wear it.
No, I could wear a cool Spider-Man shirt. Like I have a Captain America shirt, and I can, I can.
Okay, so you can wear it. You just don't.
Yeah, I can't.
Like
someone
to
gave
wear
it to me.
Okay,
so I didn't spend money on it. I don't know. It makes no sense. I know. But when it comes to DC,
you see where he draws the line.
DC needs people to be loyal to their product because it's slowly going to go away.
No, it's not going to go away. It's just going to be owned by somebody else. Warner Brothers owns it.
How can you go wrong with characters like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash? I saw the other day, we're like, Justice League was a horrible movie. It really wasn't a horrible movie, but now that's how it's going to be remembered.
It was okay.
It was good.
You compare that to like Endgame. It's not as good. There's more characters. And I told you the problem is they're not funny enough. But Shazam, maybe they're learning because Shazam was funny, and I think Shazam did well. They made a lot of money. Like the Chinese market is serious. If you're not funny, then they don't like you in China.
There were some funny things in the Justice League.
Yeah, but not enough.
Yeah,
not enough. I mean, there's that scene in Endgame where the portals are opening and the heroes are coming out.
Yeah,
that's epic, dude.
That was pretty cool.
That was it. We were like going, "Oh, it's on."
I'll give you that was cool.
How many times during a movie you go, "Oh yeah," and when everyone in the audience makes noises. Like when Spider-Man pops out and everyone loses their mind.
That was weird.
Oh, I was like, "Oh, this is money."
I can still recognize when things are cool, and yeah, I know that Marvel has cool things, but
Mom.
Oh, is that Mom?
That's Mom.
Hey, Mom, how you doing?
This is Russ. You did this.
Yeah, it's your
Look
fault.
at this head. This is
this is your fault.
This is your fault,
Mama.
Sorry, I just looked over to Russ's mom. I'm like, hey, Russ's mom.
That's all right. One last story.
Oh yeah. Remember Andy Serkis. Now a lot of people don't know he is. I'm murdering this last name.
Andy Serkis.
And he does all the the Gollum. They put the balls on him, and he does all the stop animation. He plays all the monkeys.
He won an Oscar for.
He was nominated
for an Oscar for Gollum in
yes.
What's it?
Lord of
the Rings. Yeah.
And
he does all these characters.
And he's in the ball suit. He's doing all the motions and everything else. Well, he's actually a big director now.
Oh.
He does a lot of directing now. And you know what? He's directing Venom too.
Oh.
And he's actually playing Venom when he animates. He's going to be the animated version of Venom. And he's directing the movie, which, a lot of times certain actors, they want to direct or but this guy is actually really good at directing. So they gave him a movie, which blows my mind.
And we knew there'd be a Venom 2.
Well, I like a lot of people kind of pissed on Venom 1, and it's because they wanted it to be something. I thought it was a decent superhero movie. It wasn't supposed to be superhero. It was an anti-hero. It was dark. It was this. I wasn't looking for too much. I mean, the way they murdered Venom in the Spider-Man, the Marvel version, the Sony version was terrible. But this one, Tom Hardy plays a pretty good Venom. He's a good actor.
Who is the villain in Venom? I never actually saw it.
Carnage.
Oh, okay.
Not Carnage. Another Venom. Another symbiote.
Different symbiote. Wait a minute,
it's a symbiote.
You're a Marvel guy, and you didn't go see it.
I have the Invicta. Deadpool.
The splitting of the universes in Marvel bothers me. Spider-Man: Homecoming I saw, but I didn't see the previous incarnation of Spider-Man with the other kid.
Yeah, Garfield.
Andrew never saw him because I don't.
You didn't miss anything. The first one wasn't bad. The second one was. I felt bad because Jamie Foxx played Electro.
I liked it.
It was kind of boring. It didn't get me going. I like the Lizard one better.
You throw me any other Marvel character from the MCU into Venom, I probably would have gone and saw it. If it counts as being in the official Marvel universe, I'll go see it.
Well, the good thing is Woody Harrelson is playing Carnage.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Did you not see the end of Venom?
That was not Woody Harrelson. Was it
You
really?
want to put that $100 that I owe you back on the line?
I ain't bet nothing. I ain't bet
I will
nothing.
gladly
I will
gladly earn my $100 again.
I didn't realize that was Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, that's Woody Harrelson. He turns around and he's going to be Carnage.
I'll be damned. I did not know that.
Carnage was grown out of Venom. So for those people who don't know, it's a symbiote that hooks on. It's an alien entity. A lot of people don't realize this is that the actual character came from a series, a miniseries called The Secret Wars, where Spider-Man had his costume ripped up and he walked into a room and they go, "This is where the costumes are made." And he pushes a button and this thing jumps out and jumps on him. He goes, "Oh my God, this is the perfect costume." He doesn't realize it's alive.
It's not
and
really
it's taking over him. Yeah.
Hey, any chance of them making the Fantastic Four good?
Yes.
No. I mean, I know they're going to make it.
Marvel's got it.
But are they going to make it good?
Marvel has it back.
Okay.
Yes. In fact, I know Marvel has it back because they're making comic books. They're starting to license the characters again. So,
they put a stop on making new Fantastic Four comic books, and so it's sort of X-Men stuff, but because
Fox sucked.
Yeah, because they were just ruining it.
Yeah.
You couldn't fully get rid of the X-Men, but they definitely tried with the Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four was one of my favorites when I was a kid, to be honest. Like I read that a lot, not more than Batman, but I read it a lot. And I loved it.
They're going to give Fox to a good director. The problem is, and listen, I know there are a lot of directors who do a lot of cute indie movies, but this should be the rule. They should have to intern behind somebody who can handle a blockbuster movie, so they know what all goes into it. The problem when you take a guy who the biggest movie he did before it was a handheld job where he ran around, and then saying, "Okay, you're going to be what you spent on that movie times it by 20, and that's just the visual effects. You're going to have 3 different teams filming at the same time." You know, it's a huge thing to be able to monitor, and if you've only monitored like 6 people, you're not really prepared for a 500-person team to do a movie with.
Hey, if you want to pick up any of our comic books, and it's from Big City Comics, just go to bigcitycomics.com. That's bigcitycomics.com. Jolly Jane is now available with many other great graphic novels that's written by Jeff Kaufman. The one that we wrote together, Jolly Jane, available now. And that we also have the Jolly Jane jerseys that you can get if you go online.
There's about 8 of those left, so you better hop on them.
And there's the naughty cover, too, if you want to check that out. All of it is at bigcitycomics.com.
Are we boring you?
Did we bore you, Ryan? You're yawning.
Did we not talk about enough Marvel crap for you?
That was a scream of joy.
Okay.
Thursday, you're going to be at
Bubbaloo's Barbecue.
Bubbaloo's every Thursday for trivia, so you can check him out.
Every Thursday or like once a month?
Well, we're seeing how this one goes.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
Well,
you got to let me handle that contract, because even if it went to crap, you'd be guaranteed to get paid.
Yeah, I'm not good at that part.
Well, that's why you have friends in low places.
All right. Anything else?
Nothing. Just want to thank everyone for keep supporting our book, keep supporting the podcast. Understand this: we will always be honest and straightforward, even if it gets us fired.
There you go. All right. Thanks for listening to our nonsense.